Hello and welcome to my channel on human design. Well, this is the channel where I answer questions from all kinds of viewers with all kinds of issues. And I do this so that you can actually find yourself in some of these questions. They're not going to be relevant to everybody, but this first one we're going to be dealing with from Evelyn is something that comes up again and again. It's to do with the cycles, and it's to do with finding your way in the world. So hopefully it'll be useful for everyone. Here's Evelyn's question. I'm a 6'2" emotional generator with an open root and spleen. Almost 2 years ago, I was 29. I felt so burnt out that I suddenly felt clear about never wanting to push or force myself again. I stopped doing anything that didn't come naturally out of me, and I needed a lot of rest. I started experimenting with human design, good for you, which happened without any extra effort, and it brought me a lot of support. After a while, I had energy for some contact with close friends again, and I picked up gardening while letting the body guide me. Eventually, I responded to bigger things, like traveling to a few human design emotions, inspiring creative events and festivals. I met up with more friends and family members, found myself in a position where I could be of loving support to some of the people around me. And I worked on some creative projects together with others, and on my own projects with sometimes valuable support from friends. I don't have any income at the moment. The few job opportunities that I responded to so far did not lead to a job that was correct for me. I'm an artist, and I am naturally good at sculpting with my hands, drawing, animation, writing, and creating characters. I like filming, editing, and performing. I love dancing and singing, and I've experimented with sewing clothing pieces inspired by historical garments. I tried my hand at creating a few websites for showcasing some of my work, and that brought me a lot of joy too. And I also love supporting friends and strangers by listening to them, holding space for them to just be and be myself with them. But my mind is driving me crazy by trying to figure out how to monetize these things. And that feels like the opposite of what I need to do. But I just don't know. I'm afraid I'm going to run out of money soon. I don't want to be a burden to others. I'm afraid of what people will think of me. I keep waiting for the correct way to make money, or maybe a possibility to live my life without making money. I do feel a sense of wanting to be financially independent, which, as I understand, may come from my gate 21. And part of me feels like there will eventually be an idea from someone or the right call that I will have a clear yes to. But again, I really don't know until whatever happens, happens. And it's really hard and painful to deal with all the insecurities and fears and pressure coming up at the moment. So I was wondering, do you have any thoughts on this that you'd like to share? And would you perhaps have a question for me in response to all this? If there's anything coming up for you that is correct for you to share, I am looking forward to hearing from you. So Evelyn, thank you for your question. And you're just moving through your Saturn return, so there's a lot of change that comes. And for all of us, when we get to the Saturn, you know, we move out into the world, we find out the limitations of the world. As you found out, you know, we get to find out where we fit in this world for our life. And it's not an easy time. You know, it's usually a very difficult time for many people. So you're not alone. So let's have a look at your chart and see what we can see. The first thing to understand is that the life is fulfilled through relating and relationships. The 40th gate is the gate that leads this chart. You know, you shine out through making sure that the people in the group are well, are nourished, are supported. And the 40 line 6 will get rid of people that are disruptive to the group. Think about that. Think about that. The tribe must always be vigilant around the borders, and the tribe are very sweet and loving and supportive when they're safe and when they're well fed. But when they're not, when there's something that comes in from the outside, then the tribe really know how to fight. So there's that. And yet at the same time, we're talking here about the channel of community, connecting your solar plexus with your will. This is a very loving and supportive channel. I've seen it do so much work for others with such love without asking anything for it. It's beautiful. And that's part of who you are, but it's only one part. You're a triple split. You also have this incredible individual mind where, you know, you are thinking outside of the box. I mean, you're a very creative person, not only from what you tell us in the question, but also you can see it in the chart. A lot of individuality. The power itself, the sacral, going through the 14-2 and into the 1, this alignment to beauty, this alignment to something unusual, this alignment to helping people come into themselves is within you. So you have a lot of power and you have a lot of creativity. And yes, you are indeed an artist. So for you to be exploring in the way that you're exploring, I love it. But how do we monetize it? This is the question. We're in a material world. And, you know, money isn't part of the natural world. It's something that's come in and caused a lot of trouble. And yet we don't want to be interfered with because of the money. And I quite understand where you're coming from. I myself have spent the majority of my adult life working outside of the system, doing my own thing. And that's what I think is going to be correct for you, because after all, you know, you're very creative. So how can you make money with it? Well, you can take advantage of what's happening at the moment. There's a lot of interest now moving in towards AI, and a lot of the skills and natural talents that you have in creativity, you've got AI that can duplicate them to some degree. I mean, it is quite amazing. It's going to get more and more what it can do. It's going to show people they can create without being creative. For those of us that are truly creative and you are abundant in your creativity, you know, it can be a problem. But what's the one thing AI can't do? What's the one thing that AI can't do that you have in abundance and is needed by others? And that's coming together in live events. Now, you've got this ability to be creative yourself. You like working with people. You like supporting people, listening to them. This is what you've already told us. So how about helping other people to find their creativity within them? Not necessarily for them to make money, but for them to get deeply in touch with that inner knowing that they have, with the creative impulses that they have, that they don't know how to get out. Well, you do. You can help them. Not only can you help them, you can film part of it as it's going on. You can create courses from that. A vast number of things that you can do, whether it's in the sculpting, and I like that for you. You have a cognition of touch. So it's right that you can use your hands. It's right that you're working with different textures and you're trying out different materials and bringing things together. Perfect. Why? Because you have breakthrough in the 46. And it comes down into fusion. This is a structured mind. It is an individual mind that can be very fragmented sometimes. You know, it's a very interesting channel. It's a very interesting way to think. And you have this full channel of awareness coming down, feeding it all the time. You know, source feeding from unusual sources, from occult knowledge and the mysteries in you. Is 4 times, you know, thinking outside the box, being more in touch with what's around you, being more in touch with the mysteries behind. These are the things that are inspiring for you. But you can bring everything together in the 23-6, in the line of fusion. This is a synthetic mind that can successfully bring lots of diversity together into something new. So if you have your students or those people that just want to have more from life, you are a perfect person to help them, to be there with them, to help them with whatever it is, to give them different materials, to show them certain things to try out and watch them and help them to really bring something out. there's a lot of leftness in the chart in terms of the way the mind takes in information, the way you see, and your active body. So that, again, this is working with the goals of the people, you know, supporting the people in their own creativity, but charging for it. And perhaps having an assistant also to help you. Because you're a triple split, you need to be around the auras of others. Otherwise, there's 3 different things going on and it flips from one thing to another. You know what it's like. So working within a group, I think, is good. It also fulfills the purpose in terms of relating. Now, I know you have no money at the moment, or money's running out, but I want you to just think about setting something up where people can come and find their own creativity, and you assist them in that. I think you would be brilliant at that. And that's something that AI cannot do. If you wanted to, because of your enjoyment of websites and setting something up, to be creative, to see it come out, you might want to bring in some AI and teach some of that as well, if it's useful. I mean, it's up to you. This is your life. This is when you find out your limitations. This is where you find out where those pools of gold are that you can tap into from your own creativity. Also, think about the marketing for such a thing. You're not ideally someone who can market their own work. It's usually quite difficult as an artist to market your own work. So in human design, we have the first gate, which is the gate of creation, the gate of the artist. And looking down on it is the 8th gate. And the 8th gate is the agent. So you've got, you know, really, if you get someone who loves what you do and can put it out and say, hey, you know, she's doing another one, you know, come while you've still got the chance. There's only limited spaces. And you have film shots of some of the things that went on in the first one. And the first one can be with friends, you know, they don't have to be paying guests. It's just getting it off the ground. So I'd like you to think about that. I'd like you to think about what it would be like to bring the quality of life back into people's lives when they've forgotten it. You can take advantage of the fact that so many people are watching TV and Netflix, and they're just taking in the programming. They're taking in other people's creativity or manipulation or whatever it is. This is the other way. I love it. This is the defiant way, the creative that goes, no, wait a minute. We want to tap into our own creativity and have that satisfaction and be lifted up together, you know, because people will be working on different tables with different things, very different. Wow. And yet you can bring it all together. So that is what I would suggest would be a good way forward. Of course, you've got to, you know, make friends to get the venue where you don't have to pay too much, or, as I said, perhaps have someone else help you. And the reason I say that, there isn't a full logical channel in your chart. So in terms of scheduling, in terms of timing, in terms of, you know, the administration, all these kinds of things, it's best to delegate that to someone else. And if you have a friend that has, let's say, the 4816, they may be very good at helping you with that. Or anyone with really good logic. I mean, the alpha will also do it. The 1762 will also do it. So there's a lot of different aspects you can draw on to help you set up in the beginning. Once you get into it, no problem. Once you get into your own self-value, you don't have to prove yourself by pushing to support other people. You don't have to burn out that open route of yours. It's all about the direction you're going in, and you are an artist, and that's the direction I would suggest you continue in, but open it up for others. And yeah, you know, you can bring it into flowers and plants as well. There's so many cases where, you know, in prison and in different places where people are forcibly gathered together, people take part in gardening, and it changes everything. It changes everything, as you know. So who knows where that might lead to in terms of your social impact. And again, using that for PR, you know, you do something beautiful, it really lifts people. You take photographs of it, you get it in the local papers or whatever. It's part of who you are, you know, to empower others and to inspire others. So it's not about finding a job, in my view. It's never worked for me particularly. It's about finding your place in the world where you can get a material return from being who you are. So I'd stop looking at the papers and I'd start thinking about who it is that you know, who's in your network, how this could work in order to get you to begin it. And once you begin it, you are very strong. And if you're loving it, you will really build something. You are here to build something. This is the generator sacral. Build your life from doing what you love, but include other people and have a material return in doing that. And who knows what you may discover in the others? Who knows what you may light up in them that they never knew was in them? There's real potential for profound wisdom and love and enjoyment and happiness in this life for you. And if the workshops lead naturally into events, and you say you've already done some of the events, then you can include the singing and the dancing and bring others in and really make it something very special. You know, you're here to bring out something very special and very unique with others. What a life that can be. And one more thing, you have the mind is motivated by need. Now, if in the transference, it can get into fear and you get lots of things that you don't need, but you think you need. If you're working with others, and if you're working and you're working truly according to yourself, you'll see what people actually need. So let's say they're in a creative process. Maybe they're doing some sculpting and you're watching over them and you're seeing with your goal-orientated mind that they need to do a little bit more on the face over here or whatever. And you show them a new tool and you show them the way that you would do it. And then they copy you and they get the result. Isn't that a beautiful way to earn money? I think so. Anyway, that's my response. I hope that's helpful. And thank you for your question. Our next question is from Robert, a Splenic Projector, born on the cross of upheaval. Here's his question. Dear Richard, lately I've felt like Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, sitting on the battlefield, questioning my purpose and why I must face certain challenges. This has me wondering, how does human design address karmic patterns and where in the chart do we look for them? I've been trying to understand my karmic patterns through my incarnation cross and south node, which is in gate 6. This gate seems to hold many of my core struggles in inner conflict with myself, my body, and my energies. There's a persistent theme of suppression. I suppress my feelings, my sexual potential, and myself in general. I carry a fear of intimacy, of being vulnerable and opening up in relationships. With an open solar plexus, this question feels like a mystery to me. People around me often say, speak up, take your space. You need more self-confidence. But I seem stuck in a chronic fight or flight state, unable to move forward. My north node is in gate 36, the darkening of the light. And I understand this is about witnessing experiences rather than being absorbed by them. But I'm unclear how to actually embody this shift. Should I also be cultivating the energy of gates 35 and 59 to support this transformation? Well, Robert, thank you for the question. And my advice to you is don't overthink it. Karmic patterns and who you meet and how you alter their lives. You know, you are the ally that comes in times of crisis to help people out, and people come in to help you too in your crisis. So when I've watched fifth lines go through decades of their life, certain people come in and there's this connection, and something that has to happen happens between them. And you can regard that as a kind of a past life connection that continues and continues from incarnation to another. But trying to think it through, trying to go, well, how can I fulfill my life through my South Node? You know, that's, you're everything that you are in that design. We can't answer this. We don't know. You're a stranger of consequence. You know, you could be standing at a bus stop and a conversation breaks out with someone you've never met, and the next thing you know, you're in another country doing something you never even dreamed you were going to do. You can't see that in the South Node. Yes, in the not self, there will be this difficulty with emotional energy and sexual energy. It can be very confusing. Sexuality can be very confusing to projectors with the open sacral and the open solar plex. And this is part of the experimentation that goes on as you live. Again, you've got the knowledge of human design. You know, you've got the ability to see that in your own chart, you know, you're going to create upheaval. Why? Because you want to refine things and improve things for people. You know, you want to make things better. So you're actually a very useful person, Robert. And when people say to you, speak up, I mean, that makes me laugh. You know, you have an open throat. Usually with open throats, it's like, shut up, you know, but with you, people going, speak up. You know, they're sensing through your aura that you are someone that can really be incisive for them and help to correct them in a very practical way. That's how you move in this life. That's the grounding of the life, is in the 18.5, the line of therapy, the wisdom to know that there are certain problems that one encounters when you need to get support from other people. You need to get advice from outside. But overthinking isn't going to do it. I would say, you know, what is it that you love to do? What is it that you love to fix? You can see what's wrong in any pattern. You know, in seeing that, in seeing the way other people can't see, that's of great value. And that's what people need. And that's what you're here to do. And in that journey, you are going to meet certain old friends and you're going to meet certain old enemies also. That's what happens with the fifth line. You're a radical, you're a rebel, you know, you're a heretic, you're there to do things differently. And you want to challenge the authorities that are doing a bad job. That's the biggest fear in you, that the leaders aren't leading properly and the people are suffering. And what do we do about it? Well, this is where the fifth line comes in. And along that path, there will be this conflict. But let it be conflict when you've got something to say, to help. Then you will stand your ground. And then people will look to you and they go, well, look, he knows what he's talking about. Let him do it. You know, and then what will you do? You'll direct them to do it. Not for you to do the work. Remember, you're a projector. But it's that critical awareness that can really help people make a more functional life or whatever it is that they're doing. It's very useful. And you've got outer vision. You've got outer vision as a cognition. So I really do emphasize that, you know, you can see beauty, you can see how things can be lined up, you know, perfectly. And what that does for the person, what that does for the environment. Maybe you go into working with the environment. You know, you're kind of finely tuned here through the way that you see, through the way that you see things are off, through the way that you see things can be lined up properly. The environment is wet kitchens, so you need things going on around you. You know, it's always good for a projector to be around life force energy, providing they don't get sucked in and do too much and dive in and get lost in the generator fuzzy auras. But to be in an environment where there's mutation going on, where things are changing, a kind of transformational environment is what you need. If you're spending too long, you know, away from people and quiet, then you're just going to feed the mind. What should I be doing? What's my purpose? So that's really what I have to say to you. Your karmic life, you'll get to know as the life unfolds. And there will be these key meetings that you have, and then you'll know. And you may well remember previous lives with certain people as well. You've got a very interesting filtration system in the way that you think. You've got a gate in every single circuit possible in the way that people think. So you can think logically, but you can also think with a lot of many ideas in an imaginative way. And then you've got the 61, which is bringing in the filter of the mysteries and thinking outside the box, etc. So you can tap into a lot of the ways that people think. And when you're invited, then you speak. But you speak when you have something to say. You speak when it's appropriate, when they are listening to you, when they are paying attention to you because they've invited you to help with this, to improve that, to create a new space, whatever it may be. You're here to fulfill the life through the mind penetrating into the Maya, penetrating into the material. It's got to be an interesting life. And that's something that comes as you live it, because who knows what is going to be interesting for you. It could be a speciality of some sort. It will take you into meeting with other people, which is correct. Who is around you as a projector is very, very important. And if you're not in the right environment, you need to be in the right environment to be around the right people. So that's always something I would hold in the back of my mind as I'm moving through my life if I had a chart like yours. And more than that, you're a projector. Projectors are here for the life. You know, you're here to bring more life to people, to show them what the life can be. All these generators busy working and building and all this stuff, or being frustrated and not being able to do what they want to do. You are the one that comes in there and shows them, because you can see. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. That's my immediate response to your question, and thank you for asking the question. And finally, a question from a will projector, Carrie Ann. This is her question. Ego Projector, my question is, not being judgmental, why am I here? I love everyone long time, but do not feel heard. Why are you here, Carrie? Good question. I think at some point in our lives, everybody goes, why am I here? What's it all about? Again, we go to the chart. Again, we see what is there. You have the channel of initiation. This implies that you're here for, you know, a challenge. You know, there's always going to be this challenge. What's my challenge? And here it's like, what am I here for? Give me the challenge. Let me use my will to break through to something new. So I don't know exactly what that is going to be, but I know it's something that's going to be invited out of you. So the channel of initiation is a mystical channel. It is like, I think of it in terms of the shaman's leap into the abyss, not knowing what's on the other side, but having the courage to make that leap anyway. And it's purely individual. So you're purely individual. It's not like you're going to fit in anywhere particularly. You're here to mutate. And you're here to fulfill the life through the mind penetrating into what's going on. The right angle cross of the unexpected means that we cannot expect what's going to happen. Every unexpected I meet, it's like, well, I never expected that. Even though I think I can, I can't. I can't, you know, you guys, it's like beyond me. So unexpected things are going to happen, especially with this channel. I mean, why are you here? You're going to find out. It's not like, this is the path you must walk on and be correct and walk like a soldier. No, you're a creative individual. Who knows what you're going to love? Who knows who you're going to meet? Who knows when the person who is ready for your initiation is going to come? Then you begin to see it. You're a 3-5, trial and error, you know, you're there to deal with the expectations of people. You probably tend to over-deliver in that process and possibly burn out in trying to do so. Now, we're not having a dialogue, so I don't know what your interests are. We see the 27th gate, the line of greed in the third line. The third line is a potential material aspect, a source where money can come in. You're not here to be the greedy one, but you are here to see where there's an excess of energy, where people need more than they need, which implies that you'll be working with rich people, exclusive people, making the best better. Because after all, that's the challenge. You're invited to help them in their own movement, and hopefully help them to help the people as well through that. But, you know, it depends how it goes. So the main thing is, whenever I see just the will as the motor, energy is a premium. Okay, so the 21 will enable you to be in control, to be able to delegate to the right people to do what needs to be done for the people that you work with. And I think you'd be really some magic in anyone's life if you're in the right place, if you're around the right people, if you're helping the best become better. And it's unexpected. So again, there's always this, we don't know where that will be. The 36 is there. You know, you could find yourself zipping off to different countries. But what I want you to think about is go high, charge for it. You know, the rich will pay for quality, and you can bring quality. And also it means that you know, Ra always went high end with his pricing. It was difficult for many people to attend his courses at the beginning because they were so expensive. But he only had the motor, you know, and his thing was like, well, it's not like I bring you a whole lot of old shoes, you know, I bring you real quality, and it has its price, and it needs to be that price. And it needs to be that price in order to attract what you need without a lot of motor energy yourself to be involved in something that is more exclusive, is what I would say. The open throat with the 31-4 also, this is your the filter tapping into the voice of influence and the positive projection for the voice of influence. You know, I think you're a good right-hand person for some exclusive people, because you can make sure the job gets done. You can open up new things for people. You're possibly going to be quite good with languages and picking up different accents and different things like that. So again, I kind of get the sense that you'll be moving around a bit, which is part of having a good life for some people. And I think you would enjoy that. You are a cave environment, so you need your own security. You do have this side of you where, you know, you want to be protected. You want to have your place where you have all your resources around you. And again, this could be an office. This could be from when I've been working with very rich people, they often have a side house or a place where the support people stay, which can be very beautiful. And I'm sure you'd make it beautiful. But then you can be of service to them with your knowing, unexpectedly. I mean, I can't tell you how many 45s I meet along the road that, you know, want to get things done, but, you know, it's not for them to do. And they're looking for the right 21. And you're a really exclusive, high quality chart. And you've got a certain flair about you too. The 46 is also there in the identity, in the line of the prima donna, and in the line of pacing. And we've got the 41 there as a filter. We've got the 36 there as the filter. You know, again, I haven't spoken to you, but there's a certain dramatic quality in you. And I'm thinking now, like, well, you know, I wouldn't normally say this, but there's, you know, the actress is in you as well, I suspect. And if not, to be involved with that kind of world may also be appealing to you. The larger than life aspect of world, the whole game of the thing, you know, that could be fun. So that's what I see in your chart on just the first look. you've got a very intellectual design as well. Not only are you here to fulfill the life through the mind penetrating into what's going on, but you've got a completely clear head center and ajna, with just the 23 looking to breakthrough, looking to unique insights, looking to the translation of truth in the appropriate setting, whatever that may be. So you're very bright as well. And you're taking in a lot of energies. You're taking in the life force. You're taking in the ideas. You're taking in the environment. So with such an open chart, you know, you are being influenced by the environment around you, by the people around you. And it should be high class, I think, with this design, ideally. Doesn't have to be. I mean, it can be another side, but you'll still have your own space. That is for sure. You know that. I'm also an exclusive clave, so I know what that means. And you do too. So wherever it is, you've got to have your own separate space where you can just let go of all the influences that have come around you in your own space. That's going to be important. We don't want you burning out. So briefly, to answer your question, Carrie Ann, you know, why are you here? You're here to bring the lightning when it's needed. You're here to be that unexpected element that really adds the glory to life when you're really on the ball, you know, one challenge after another, goal orientated, completely left design. So, you know, you get locked on whatever that goal is, and it's like, that's the focus. Now, if you're in service to the right people and they're good people and they're helping the world, they're helping the people, or they're helping bringing out something that will lift up the people, then you can be a great benefit to them and enjoy the life and enjoy things manifesting around you because of your input. And you're here to be highly regarded. So don't take the lower job just for money if you need it. You know, it's like, what's the real challenge? To get yourself seen around the right people is part of it. When you say, I do not feel heard, I mean, you've got an open throat. So the natural state is silence. And when someone invites you to speak, then you can give it to them. But it's really not to speak all the time. You need to know your place in this. The will doesn't want to use its energy unnecessarily. You want to speak when you have something to say. You don't want to use that will more than you have to. And that's waiting, often that's waiting for the right moment, the right time when they are ready to hear it, whatever it is. So conserve your energy. I would advise you to look for the high price opportunities around you. Again, depending on your interests, there is also potential for you to be involved with healing and the alternative and complementary therapies, if that's of interest to you. And again, it'll probably be a niche market thing, you know, something special, something unexpected, but it works, you know. There's a lot of magic in you. So again, I can't tie down exactly, without a dialogue, I can't tie down exactly what it would be, but you get my drift, yeah? This should be an interesting life for you. So I trust that's been helpful in some way, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope the viewers, you've also enjoyed it. And if you have, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll be back again very soon with something completely different. See you then. Bye for now.